Good morning, everyone. Patricia Hayes here. Welcome to Coffee Time Career Chat, where we talk about all things that affect professionals, business folks, and entrepreneurs in terms of their career development and professional growth, especially when it comes to building out our relationships and networks. My name is Patricia Hayes. I am an executive advisor, career empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And all that means is that I love to help people build sustainable professional relationships that will stand the test of time and to do so in integrity and aligned with their core values so that they can achieve the growth that they desire and achieve their goals. So, welcome. So excited to be here. It is a Wednesday when I normally would do an interview series as we started in 2022. However, I had a cancellation and I was going to pop something in from the video vault, but there's something, an issue that has been on my heart. I wanted to make sure and get it out because somebody may need to hear this today and not wait till next week. So I want to talk about loving on your network. Let's get that title up there. Loving on your network and showing that you care and how important that is for us as professionals, but as people and human beings. Those of you who are following in the news, there's just a horrific story about a beautiful young African American young lady, Chesley Crest, who passed away last week. And she passed by suicide. And completely shocking to everyone in her world. I did not know this young lady. She was a lawyer with an MBA degree and young with seemingly fantastic life and career ahead of her, but had struggles. And we don't know all of her story, but we know that it is unfortunate that there are those who continue to suffer, who are not, who have not received the help that they might need, and or don't have a network or someone that they feel like they can talk to about it. So I just wanted to step in here to make sure that the people in my network know that, hey, I may not be able to help you personally. Some of you I may be able to, but even so, know that you can reach out and I will send you or help you find someone who can help you work through your issues or your problems or your concerns. Because here's the reality. We all have them. We all have concerns. We all have problems. All have things that come up. Mental health is no joke. And while it has been coming to the forefront more and more, there's still a stigma. We still need to work through that. But, these times that we've been dealing with in the past 2 years with an international health crisis have only aggravated those situations and those contexts in which it arises as a result of economic stress, of family stress, relationship stress, job stress, keeping a job, getting a job, leaving a job, all of those things, right? So here is the thing. Just as a couple of years ago when I started the series and I didn't know it would take off, I started that series about maintaining your network in a crisis. And when I started that, it was my way of giving back and trying to help people figure out what to do and how to stay connected during these times. And here we are, 2 years later, and it's still being relevant, even more relevant today. And so I encourage you, and I'll pull those up or, check out one of those, the master classes that I did on it. But here is the main point that I lead off with. while we are in the midst of trying to do things and check things out and getting people to say, hey, can we connect and talk about things professional, recognize that the people in your network may be dealing with something in a personal manner, in a professional manner that affects them personally, all types of things that their brain is not right there to be addressing a professional connection at that point in time. And as I encouraged people then, I will encourage you today to remember to be human when reaching out to people, especially if you have not chatted with them in some time, and to start with, how are you doing? Is there anything that you need? How can I help? And when you ask those 3 basic questions, you are putting yourself out there to help people know that there's someone out there who cares about them. And that it's not just in the context of what you can give them, or what they can give you, but what can you give them? How can you help them? And this is in complete alignment with how I've always presented myself in stating that it's about giving, not just taking. We want to be able to receive help from others, receive opportunities from others, but we want to give of ourselves, give of our network, give of our resources in ways that support those in our network. Now, we're not talking about giving till it hurts or where you're doing, damage to your own self-care, right? We're not talking about that. We are talking about a healthy balance, a healthy integration of addressing people's needs and helping them to find what they need, right? Whether it's in the professional realm or whether it's in a personal realm. Whether it's in a mental health realm or physical health realm or an emotional health realm, right? I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm none of those things, but I have friends who are in the health field. I have people that I know in my network who are connected in that manner. So guess what? I can get you connected in that way. Okay. And it's so crucial. And sometimes, we may not be super close to all of the people on our network. That is fine. That does not mean, however, that you can't be there for someone, even if it's just saying, hey, I understand, there are lots of things going on. If you want to reschedule and let's talk another time, that's fine. But I'm here for a listening ear, or if there's some way I can help, let me know. Okay. It can be as simple as that. Asking, what can I do to help? Not putting the burden on them. Not making someone feel like a burden, but helping them to know that, guess what? I'm a human being too. And there have been a tough moment or two, and we can be there. And, when you have those people that you are a little bit closer to, that you may be able to share a little bit more with, it's really great to be able to show that level of vulnerability. I've talked about vulnerability and networking before, and I may bring that one back from the vault. But it's super important because when you are willing to be vulnerable, when you are willing to show your human side, it reminds people that they're not alone, that there's someone else out there who's had a moment of toughness, who's been through some, situation, whatever it may be. Everyone doesn't have the same story. And that's great. I love sharing people's story, which is why I bring and connect people through my network all of time, because there's incredible value in that. And I learn about it after the fact when someone says, hey, I'm really glad that you brought this person on, or that you introduced me to this person, because I really connected with their story and some of the things that they've done behind the scenes. Or for myself, right? They're like, I'm so glad you shared that story because I thought I was the only one dealing with a situation like that. Or to remember that, oh my gosh, yes, we are all trying to, get things situated through the crazy times while raising a family, running a business, and staying connected. All right. Human connection is so important. And it is absolutely crucial for us to be, to remember that. Good morning, Heather. So glad to have you here. It's so important for us all. Okay. And what I want to make sure that we all know is you, as whatever business, whatever profession that you're in, that if you don't know the numbers and the access to resources for your industry, that you pull those up so that they can be at the ready in case you need to share that with someone in your network. That is how you can be prepared. That is how you can be ready and willing to help someone. So I know that after this session, I will be popping in the number for the lawyers care here in Texas, because I'm a lawyer. I know a lot of lawyers. The young lady we're talking about was a lawyer, and I know that there are resources for lawyers to access when they are having difficult times emotionally, economically, and with mental health. Okay. I will be popping up the suicide prevention number. Okay. These are things that you never know who you are going to touch. And even if it's something as if you're in a business environment, I'm like, well, we don't have a professional association that provides that. Well, if you have health insurance in your company and it has an emotional and mental health or a wellness section that's attached to it, make sure people know how to access it. Okay, share it with people. Ask them, hey, do you need me to help you call this number, or do you need the information? Here it is. Do you need me to call someone who can help you to do it? Right? These are the times, if not, just so much more, even so much more so today. My words are not as eloquent, perhaps, because this just really, really touches my heart. And it's important. It is important. I shared in a clubhouse room today where the moderator, had put up the topic about dreaming fearlessly and about manifesting health and wealth. And, someone might take that the wrong way, but this particular group of people always come up in a very thoughtful way about how, what this means for them. And it's not the way that most people might superficially. These folks have been through a thing or two and are like, hey, this is how I have shifted, how I have adjusted my limited beliefs so that I can reach out and I can dream, I can recognize and realize my dreams at a different level, that I don't get sucked into the definition of success as the world sees it. That I don't, put my own personal health at risk trying to achieve someone else's dream, all of those types of things. And these are the things we need to continue to talk about, right? We can take things one block at a time, one person at a time. That's all I can do, right? Is put it out there, hoping that this touches someone who needs it, who's willing to reach out, who's willing to get help, who's willing to just say, hey, I just need a listening ear to help me process some of this. And if that's from a professional health perspective, to get that type of help. But if it's in a professional way of saying, I need to strategize how I can do better with my career and my profession so that I can achieve the dreams that I have, but in a way that's not damaging to my health and well-being, so be it, right? I have shared a number of times about some of my own personal situations over the years where, I had a job. One of those jobs just really almost did me in. I was physically in pain for 18 months. And it was all work related, right? And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And so if I can help someone coming up behind me or someone who's right there with me to say, sometimes you have to make the difficult decision, but in the long run, it's actually the best decision for you. And that is what matters, is doing what works best for you. Everyone doesn't have to understand it. You do not have to get permission. You do not have to get acceptance for it. And yes, I say that like it's so easy. I am well aware it is not easy. It is not easy to block out the voices of other people saying, "Why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing it this way? Or why are you doing that way?" I know and I understand because I have been there. And those are some of the tips and strategies I share with people when I'm helping to coach them. Because a lot of times when they're coming, it's not just about how to deal with relationships in their professional capacity, but it's how you respond and deal with relationships, period. And it's starting with your internal voice that you're using, that you're speaking, that that helps you or does damage to you when you're engaging with others, right? So we got to make sure we start with ourselves. Make sure we engage in that radical self-care that goes beyond a great bubble bath and a massage. I'm for all of those things, but radical self-care can mean stepping away from things and people to maintain your peace, even when it comes to work, especially when it comes to work. All right. Know that there are times when we make decisions that are active choices. And there are those of us who actively choose to continue along a path. And we have to call it for what it is. We have to own that. And whether, no judgment here or there, been there, done that. And I can look back now and say, you know what, I probably should have made a switch a little bit sooner, or I should not have been as scared about reaching out or, a touching base or taking that step sooner. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. All I can do now is help others to come to that realization sooner, help them to know how to make that empowered decision to put their personal care, their personal goals, their personal dreams first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that helps to sustain themselves and their families and the legacy that they leave well into the future. But you can't make it there if you don't take care of yourself right now in today. Okay? So that's really what I wanted to be. I didn't want this to be long. I wanted to pop in, provide that that information, that resource to let you know, and that call to action for everyone who listens and watches to prepare yourself to be able to provide a resource or be a resource to someone who is suffering, to someone who's having a difficult time, whether it's professionally, whether it's emotionally, whether it's mentally, and to direct them. If that's not your expertise, don't do that, right? We're not trying to cause greater harm to someone, but to let someone know that you are there and that you care, that you can do, and to direct them to the help, that someplace where they can get the help that they need. And so my call to action to everyone who watches and hears today is that you look up whatever wellness support, mental health support, whatever it is, and access to in your industry, in your profession, and that you post it and make sure that people know about it in your network. Okay? That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for sharing. I look forward to following up with you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.